who claimed to have been hoodwinked into paying 400 million naira to secure the managing directorship of the Niger Delta Development Commission, that is the NDDC. Now, according to reports now, Uba Etu and Hajia Fatima, who is now at large, allegedly conspired. They conspired to commit fraud by making false presentations to Ubo about securing the NDDC managing directorship in exchange for 400 million naira. NDDC directorship is being bought allegedly to the tune of 400 million naira. Now, the petition led to an investigation. An investigation which resulted in the initial charge against Uba Etu and Crystal Uba. However, though, the amended charge now only lists Uba and Etu as defendants. The prosecution lawyer M.L. Anthony requested an adjournment to serve the amended charge on the defendants, which was granted by Justice Inyang Ekwo. Now, to look into this topical issue, we are not just looking at the issue of corruption. We're not only looking at, the issue of alleged 400 million naira fraud. There is also the issue, an underlying issue that borders around the buying of offices. Have we really talked about this before now? Yes, maybe we've brushed on it. Maybe we've brushed around it. But have we really hit the nail on its head? I mean, promises are made every day to most of us. If you've not been victim, maybe you won't understand. But we see instances in this country within the civil service where jobs are promised to certain persons who have the financial capacity to obtain them. And it doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it. I mean, you just use what you have to get what you want. And that is also part of the case in discourse this morning. And so somebody begs to ask the question, what if, the magic if, as I always would like to call it, what if everything went smoothly? Would we be talking this? Would somebody be coming out to say that I was hoodwinked into spending 400 million naira for an NDDC managing directorship? That's on the one hand. And on the other hand would be the peoples involved in this alleged 400 million naira scandal. See it as a scandal, though. And then if you move away from the people, because these people are not Taiwanese, they're not Indians, they're not Americans, they're not Togolese, they're not South Africans, they're not Burkinabes, they're not Malians, not even Nigerians. They are Nigerians. They are your brother, they are my sister. Why am I saying this? These people are Nigerians. That's the point. They are us. And then if you move away from them, and then you look at the monies in itself, where and how do you amass as much as 400 million naira? Managing Directorship, NDDC. How do you even amass this kinds of money? I mean, I'm trying to understand it. Now, I'm not, like I said, I mean, I think everything now in this country is beginning to seem alleged. So I'm also allegedly saying, where do you amass that kind of monies to want to get, such a ticket to office? But then, to join the discourse with us this morning is our guest, who is in the person of Mr. Benedict Olaleko Agunloye. I like to call him Sir Benedict Olaleko Agunloye. He's an information professional, a policy and public affairs analyst. Welcome aboard, Sir Benedict Olaleko Agunloye.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Top of the morning to you, though. I mean, here we are with a conversation that borders around a 400 million naira fraud, and the IGP, is amending that charge against Senator Andy Uba and Benjamin Etu. And it is also discovered that these are not the only two persons involved in this discourse this morning. There is an Ajia who is at the moment, Ajia Fatima, that's how she's been regarded. She's now at large. And of course, there is a Crystal Uba as well. And this case is a case that has to do with an alleged, supposedly, 400 million naira fraud, which a George Uba is claiming to have been hoodwinked into paying to secure the managing directorship of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. I'd like to hear your voice, on this one, and the various perspectives or angles that can be drawn from this discourse this morning, and as well how it affects the Nigerian mentality in itself.
Well, when we take the case clearly, should it actually be a case against Andy Uba, and Benjamin? I disagree. The fellow who actually put up the petition is also guilty of fraud. Why is he paying to become the MD of a government company to individuals? If he's qualified for the position, he should have waited for the position to be advertised, and then he would apply and be appropriately trained. For him to have paid to get a job that does not belong to Andrew Bar, I think he himself is guilty of fraudulent solution. So to that extent, if you ask me, he's actually bringing to fore something that is as eating deep, you could call it, is almost in the DNA of our national system. That people pay to get jobs. They claim they are selling slots. Right? What they tell you is they are selling slots. People pay for contracts that they have not, that they are not sure it will even be awarded to them. And a lot of time, if not awarded to them, they can't get their money back. So fundamentally, I think that we should stem it from the realm of there is an institutional corruption in the Nigerian system as it relates to pursuant of contract award and pursuant of job. I have a personal experience some years back where some individuals approached me and said that the the human resource unit of an oil giant at the time was looking for a document control manager, which is my job. But even before applying for the job, they are asking me to a location to come sign or to come and agree that every month 300,000 from my salary will be remitted to them. I don't know who these ones are. A former colleague called me to it. But I believe that happens in some other organization, if they have not done it before, they won't have the boldness to come and say, come and do it.
How much did you say was supposed to be removed?
Yes, they will be getting 300,000 naira every month.
Wow.
Yes, every month.
Wow.
From whatever salary I am paid. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, we never got to meet. When eventually the oil giant threw up the application, I applied. I knew I was qualified, but I never got an invitation for the interview. But I knew that a month before that advert came online, they had been shopping for who will take the job and will be remitting to them. So they possibly got someone who agreed to pay them or who was going to pay higher. Now you see other people come up. They are paid 3 million naira, they are paid 2 million naira to get jobs in some federal agencies. Right? And then, yes, they got the job. But when you say, and some of them come even to the church openly to testify that they have gotten the job.
Right.
I remember talking to a pastor once that, is he aware that this fellow have to pay so much? He said, but you know that there are also people who paid and did not get the job.
Wow.
So it is our public knowledge that people are bribing or paying for jobs that they are not even sure they will be given. Now, it is not the fault of the man asking for it alone. It is also a problem of the payer. If there is a willing seller and there are no willing buyers, the system would have collapsed. But because there are also a lot of willing, desperate buyers, that's why you have that process to go on. I've seen people who said they've been asked to bring 10 million to go to join to be nominated into the board of the company. And the question would always be, it is not all of them that pay this 5 million or 10 million or 30 million or 100 million that got the job, just as it is in the case that is now in court.
Right.
So I think that it tells you clearly that we have a problem that is fundamental. And then you look at what are the processes and sources of some of this payment. They said 400 million. How was it paid? Is it in cash? Is it through the bank? If it is in cash, it violates financial transaction principles. And if it is through the bank, why was it not flagged either to the NFIU, either by the paying commercial bank, or by bringing a change, or by whatever other means it has been done? I think that 400 million is way higher than a liable free transaction limit that shouldn't have raised any suspicion.
Sir Benedict.
Also, when there is no buying and selling that can be proven to have been involved.
Sir Benedict, interestingly, it does seem as though the court in itself is not even adjudging the case from the perspective that you just put out now. And some would argue that, okay, well, the reason why that is not happening right now is because of the first what is before the judge himself, right? What is before the judge is not a case of trying to buy for a position. What is before the judge will be the case of these persons defrauding someone of 400 million naira, right, for a certain position. But then there is another angle to look at this, Benedict. Do you not think that this is more like a business that is lucrative in Nigeria today, where certain positions have been made flamboyantly and recklessly empowered, especially in terms of financial, implications for a certain office? What am I saying in essence? Now, this Ubo, is it Godwin Ubo or George Ubo now, is vying for an office and is willing to part ways with 400 million naira. What does that tell you about that office? Does it shed light into the happenings, in that office? Because nobody would want to invest such a money into a cause that would not want to rip later from that cause. Does it bother you?
Well, like I said, does it bother me? The answer is yes. Is he only who bought alone? The answer is no. Like I said, every now and then you see fictitious people call you from civil defense and tell you they have slots to sell, or you have to pay 200,000, you have to pay 100,000. You see FRS people talking about 2 million naira. You see those talking about media and 3 or 5 million naira as the case may be. So all those rackets are there in our system. And I think that if they are not getting the money, they will not continue to waste their credit and their emails calling people to make such payments. And in as much as people get to pay to them, and it is people who pay somewhere or somehow that get the job, then it tells you that the system is devoid of merit. And that people get on the job on the ground that they have already made payment. And so if they have made payment, it is not about the service they are there to render. It is that they have come to earn for a business that they have invested. So in this case, when they get into office, they begin to search for the powers and the privileges of that office and not the responsibility of their office.
Does this describe
they have paid their dues to get the job.
Does this describe the state of affairs in Nigeria today from your own perspective?
Well, it describes the state of affairs across the different platforms of our nation. That's the practical reality, that people are not taking for several things on merit. That people get on the job having made payments, which in their opinion is what qualifies them for the job and not the skill. And they are paying for the privileges that exist in this office and not for the responsibility. You see, and you have seen people from low level to high level displaying incompetence and ignorance of their office, but laying claim to their privileges and their rights. You see, for instance, look at the senator today. Yes, it is only a senator that can present a petition before the Senate. But how will the sitting senator not know that she cannot present a petition that she has already signed? It is because we are filled with the privileges of our office and not with the responsibility. Go to the road, you see the policeman. He has right to possibly come there. And so he's focused on recouping his investment, which has gone into being posted there. So it is not the job as the policeman that is first. It is getting back whatever he spent to get in on that posting. And we hear in Nigeria, people tell you appointment is better than promotion. Well, how about that spoken in the civil service? How about that spoken by men in the police force? Where they believe that if you get the right posting, if you get the right appointment, based on whatever connection, the privileges of that office get you what your rank cannot get you. Which I always believe that the focus should be on the responsibility, not on the privileges.
All right.
But when people bribe and people pay, they don't even think about the responsibilities and the calling of that office. They only think about the privileges. So some people understand the powers and the privileges of their offices, but they do not understand the responsibilities of that office.
All right.
Why? Because they got the powers and the privileges, they did not work to understand the responsibility.
Well, we are working to understand
of our public life.
Right. And we're working to understand our responsibility here, as we have a responsibility to put it out there unbiased, and as well as keeping a balance, in the discourse this morning. Well, you can also join your voice, add your voice in the discourse, and let us know what you think about this particular issue, a case of which highlights, 400 million naira, which is the amount allegedly paid by George Ubo to secure the NDDC managing directorship position, and of course the number of counts in the amended charge against Senator Andy Uba and Benjamin Etu is 2 so far. The case, the set dates for the defendant's arraignment is March 17 of this month, and let us know your 2 cents, on this matter. Where should we indeed be focusing on? Are we focusing on those who defrauded allegedly the principal or the claimant 400 million naira, or is it according to what the guest has said that look, all of them should indeed be arraigned, inclusive of the one who brought the case to the court, and what's his name now, George Ubo, who also agreed to pay 400 million naira for a certain principal office. Right there. Right. What would be your thoughts? Where are you resting your thoughts on? And what do you think should be the right way to go in matters like this, which of course is also bringing to the fore a societal menace that is eating deeply into our civil service, as well as eating deeply into us. And what is this menace, if you ask me? Corruption it is, right? Corruption, greed, and quite a number of antisocial qualities right there. But the number is 0907-353-0044. The other number is 0908-766 8888. But for the purpose of this discourse this morning, let's stick to 0907 353 0044. The WhatsApp portal number, just send only your WhatsApp message to 0909 705 4450. Hello and good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Yudi. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Prince Thomas Salishi Saiki Trutisbita. It's Trutisbita Mwasa. How do I name it? Thank you.
All right, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from the Republic of Sundaja, Niger State.
All right, talk to us all the way from Niger State. Talk to us.
Yeah, what I'm saying that the country, Nigeria now, is corrupt. Everywhere is corrupt. So, nothing you can do about corruption for now.
Nothing.
When even the court we are going, the court is corrupt. So when everything is corrupt, when the police go to court everywhere in the country, even in the video in Nigeria, even including me, I'm talking to you, everybody is corrupt.
Okay.
Corruptors are officials from our leaders, so everywhere is corrupt. So to make the corrupt stop is to pass a law. If not, what they are saying, if you go to court, they'll play their role there, and the case will die down. So what we need to do is to go and fight out to amend the law, to be strong law, to guide the corruption. Thank you, bye.
All right, appreciate that one. It's talking about the fact that, look, it seems like we've not had enough law that is stringent enough to tackle, the issues of corruption. That if we do have it, we would not be having, this conversation frequently. But then again, there's one part, interestingly, that caught my attention. He said everybody is corrupt, including himself. Well, Sir Benedict Olaleka Agunloye, are you corrupt? Are you corrupt?
No, I do not agree with that assertion.
Right.
Yes, we have laws, and for me, I think that the laws are sufficient. But like I said, we have a lot of people who are focused on privileges and power more than responsibilities, right?
Okay.
Your people are focused on privileges and powers more than responsibility. Now, when we were in secondary school, I used to remember that when a teacher, a particular female teacher, is about flogging students, he would always say, that is, some other people's children cannot kill some other people's mother.
Okay.
Right? Now, she now has a plot near the school where he was using, where she used for farming. And a particular student in my set were called to go and work on that farm. One of the students knew that is where we were going. And then we queued up in the sun to collect cutlass and hoes because the school kept them in the store. Unfortunately, the storeman didn't arrive early. And it's a boys only school, so people started grumbling. And somebody now said, which is some other people's mother cannot kill some other people's children. I think she got to hear what that boy said. And of course, they made effort to find out who said it. The teachers were angry. But what you will see is the reversal of role. They exercise their privileges and power. And when the students decided to do a reverse, that we also have the right to say we are not going to work on your farm, especially inside the hot sun, the hot tropical sun at 1 o'clock. Right? But she got angry. Now, what I'm saying in essence is this: people are too focused on privileges, whether by being the elder or by being the youth. We so much of grandstanding that whatever system favors the individual is justifiable. Now, if the people are getting the appointment, would anybody have got to know that he paid 400 million to secure it? Would he even have agreed, right, that he did not get there by dint of hard work and competence and merit and competition? The answer is no. So that's the practical reality.
Yeah, let me put a peg to your thoughts now. Let's just go pay some bills, go on a recess. We will be right back, of course, taking reactions from family members in the discourse, and we'll get back with you in a short bit, if that's okay. All right, yes, let's go on a recess now. We'll be right back. This is Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Are you a Nigerian undergraduate with big ideas for change? Are you passionate about governance, activism, and social impact? Do you want to create real impact in your community and have your voice heard on key national issues? The Youth Leadership Development Program YLDP 2025 is here. This is your chance to gain first-class leadership training, mentorship, and secure up to 2.5 million naira to bring your community change projects to life and advocate for the Nigeria we want. Don't miss out. Visit www.nigeriayouthfly now. Application deadline is 14th March 2025. Time is ticking, so hurry. YLDP 2025 is powered by the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, IFF, and implemented by Leap Africa.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
And so we're back from recess right there. This is still Eagles Outlook. And what are we looking at? We're looking at the case of alleged 400 million naira fraud where the IGP amends charge against Senator Andy Uba and Benjamin Etu. And the person who's crying foul, George Ubo, is claiming to have been hoodwinked into paying 400 million naira to secure the managing directorship right now. And let us ask those pertinent questions, and in the course of the prog show we'll have our guest add our hardest voice as attempting to give answers to some of your thoughts. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you, Elder Naja. Good morning.
Good morning. My regard to your family.
Very well, thank you. You're calling from Kubwa, right? Oh, very well, thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, talk to us.
Our people say somebody see where he fall, but he did not see where he hit leg. You see, it's the system of the government. I'm going to tell you, this is the system of the government. You see, that's why you see, good Lord say that corruption is not threat. People don't know the meaning. Let's say if the with Odua, we have party. And then Odua is a presidential candidate. And then Danaja donate 100 million naira to the party. And then Odua win. The next thing, Odua has to give me the means where I will manage. If I can't manage it, I will sell it to somebody. You manage it. One, the first allocation we are going to give to that person to do work there. That allocation you only use quarter. You carry the rest and pay for the money. Pay the part of the money. Take one allocation. You have to pay for the 900 million naira to finish. The third allocation is that my own interest, my own gain from the money I pay to party. The fourth allocation, that is the 4th year. That's the money I'm going to divide into two. To party to campaign. And the other one will belong to me. That's why you see the system can work. That position, they give it to somebody. And then for party share, they give it to somebody. And then you have to divide that money from that man. Maybe the money went the wrong hand. Or before you bring the money, as you give the money to them, before they remit the money to the person where they allocate that money to. They have given that position to another person. Occupy. That's why they now return the money to him and then he started complaining. It's the type of system we use in Nigeria here. Everything is corrupt. Corrupt country ruled by corrupt men. The honest people in those countries, they are great enemy to people. The system we run, you bring money to party win. They must give you your own share. And then they can't carry money from federal government and give it to you. The post where they will give to you the position is where you are going to get your money. Very simple. That's why the corruption in Nigeria is never happening. Thank you so much. God bless Nigeria.
Elder Naja, thank you for that. Elder Naja giving us a vivid picture of how these things work. In fact, it says as a systemic, issue that we are faced with. I mean, if you've not paid money for certain jobs before, then maybe you are still new in this country, or probably the line "Don't let Nigeria happen to you" has probably not happened to you before, because I mean we still see job agents who would still connect you to jobs and then of course tell you that 50%, 50, sometimes even more than 50%, sometimes 20, sometimes 30% of your salary for 3 months will be taken. Is this now a norm in the system? Is this what has been happening? Is this why we're where we are today? Hello, good morning. Hello, BB.
Yeah, I shall be well with you. Say, please be slow for us. So small time, take water.
I would.
And get ready.
Thank you. Thank you, BB.
My name is BB Blessing. Our guests are finished it all. I greet our guests.
BB, where are you calling from?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm calling from a track.
Okay, thank you. All right, BB,
very
thank you.
I know the one that you will come and visit me where I am.
Very sure.
My name is BB Blessing. I'm calling from Otako. What I want to say, the issue that the corruption we have been mentioned during the time of Buhari, when he will begin to fight corruption, we are happy. Very soon we see say the power corruption begin to fight Nigeria back. But I want to ask our guests, this president Tinubu wey we have today, but he come say he wan fight corruption for Nigeria, the answer say no. Any person can do anything wey he like. E could be where we go get our right. If we as judiciary get our right, police people go get our right, us we get our right, and a human right we go get our right. Whereby our government, where we put, where we vote there, they no wan get our right. Everybody is corrupt. As to our nation something, even though na job you want or na house girl you want to give person, you go pay money, all your salary na go share into two places. What I want to say, the day when we go get our right, after that na here take get their right. If we begin starter, if even though the Senate out of assembly, Labour, we start for there, we show the example to make Nigeria good, corruption will stop. I asked for people yesterday, I say, why did the way person keep fair? Give me naira, una go do after that person arrest her. What of our Senate, out of assembly, where they are keeping our money? Now nothing there after there. Even though EFCC there after there, they are saying they see, we are be forgive. Why police no dey dey for after Senate arrest them? All this money we are be hearing some 50 billion, we no go do anything. Later, they say when they job enter APC, they are still will be forgive. Why like that? Until we hold the catch them, how Ghana take get their right? We catch all our politicians. We lock them for one room. Whether na lock, we go lock them up preview, make them get there. You go see any government wey come, you go sit where our corruption, you go come down. Without that, na so we go continue to talk one thing wey be say we just dey play band, wey be say you go play your band, so say everybody go dance, you go just close go out. Now we dey for Nigeria today. God bless you. God bless our caller.
All right, thank you, BB. Right there. Okay, appreciate that one from you. Well, keep the calls coming through. Let's really have your thoughts, in the discourse this morning. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. Does this mean that we are in a state of hopelessness? If you were to make a law, indeed, what type of law are you going to make, and where are you going to look into to ensure that this change is indeed brought to book? Because from the look of things, it does seem as if this corruption has permeated, every nook and cranny. Like it's almost seeming as if everywhere you turn is corruption. Everywhere you look is corruption. And in fact, even yourself, you cannot trust yourself to saying, I am not corrupt. Because as some of our callers, family members are saying now, one of us had called saying, even I am corrupt. That the system is corrupt. Elder Nadja has also put it out there that, look, it's a systemic thing which has now become endemic. It's a way of life. I mean, corruption at the places of work, securing a certain position, paying certain monies first of all, before you can enjoy the privileges of an office, which in all ramification, by standard and merit, is supposed to be based on merit. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Yudi.
Good morning to you, please.
Yes, Felix from Lambert.
Oh, Felix, welcome aboard. Talk to me.
You see, Yudi, until we get serious with issues of corruption, we'll continue to talk about it and nothing will happen. And the society will continue to degenerate.
So, Felix, how do we get serious? I mean, the president is trying his best. I mean, we saw how they put certain persons in certain, offices with hopes that these persons will perform. Is this a president issue, or is it the people at the helms of corrupt, to manage the corrupt affairs or corruption in the country? Are they the ones lagging behind? Where are we finding it wrong?
Yes, we are finding it wrong in the sense that the leadership is corrupt, the followers are also corrupt. A situation where you are talking about somebody being corrupt and you are bringing the person, we want to bring the person to book. Some group of people now start a kind of protest. It's our own, it's not corrupt, he has not done anything wrong, spare him. and impunity now will thrive. Since our leaders travel to other countries, civilized world like places like China and other places, they have put laws in place. You dare not do certain things and get away with it. It doesn't matter who you are. The moment you get your hands soiled with corruption, you will be decisively dealt with, and that will serve as a deterrent to others. Since we don't want to implement our laws, or we don't have very serious laws on ground to tackle corruption, and people are doing it and getting away with it, that is, others will also want to emulate and build and continue. So until we get serious, the only way we can get serious, put these serious laws in place that will serve as deterrent to others, and make sure whoever is caught in an issue of corruption is properly dealt with. By so doing now, others will now learn and then put their house and their life in order.
Okay.
Because corruption is in the family, corruption is in society, in the community, everywhere. Corruption. So until even we talking, if we look, as I will look inward and see the areas we need to amend our lives and do the right thing. Did you know in this country I can pick any certificate and get job with it?
Any certificate?
Any certificate you pick. Nobody questions you. Nobody asks questions. Where did you get it?
Nobody runs background check.
Honestly,
Wow.
even when they do background check and you are caught, you will see some Rhinos and some others, some OPs say it's our own, please spare him. It's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. This situation we find ourselves in this country. Thank you very much, my friend.
Appreciate Felix right there from Lambata. Well, it will also be very necessary to look at some of these messages, but just before we do so, I mean, I became so very curious as to, what is corruption. I mean, it's not like I don't know what corruption is, but the way it has eaten deeply, almost as if it's like eaten deeply into our life bloodline itself. It's saddening. I mean, it's complex and multifaceted phenomenon that can be defined in various ways. I mean, corruption also refers to the abuse of entrusted power or position for personal gain, often involving the exchange of bribes, favors, or even other forms of illicit compensation. So it can take many forms, and that could include bribery, embezzlement, nepotism, cronyism, right? Cronyism. Now, we already know what the bribery is, that we know the embezzlement, but maybe some of us do not even know that nepotism, which of course is about favoring family members or friends in a business or professional matters, often resulting in unfair advantages or discrimination, is also corruption. Maybe some of you did not know that cronyism, which is of course favoring close friends or associates in business or professional matters, often resulting in unfair advantages or discrimination, is also corruption. But if we are to look at the root cause or the root of corruption itself, in fact, it comes from a Latin word, corruptio, meaning to break or destroy. Now, if you are in the practice of corruption, maybe you didn't know this is important, to break or destroy. And that was in ancient Greece and Rome. Corruption was also seen as a threat to the social order and the rule of law. So it does feel as if the rule of law is being constantly attacked in many ways, such that we engage corruption wholeheartedly without fear or favor. I mean, look at the case of George Ubo in court, saying that he was hoodwinked into paying 400 million naira. How many are we in Nigeria, Mbok? How many are we? But somebody was hoodwinked into paying 400 million naira for a managing directorship office with the NDDC. Now, ordinarily, some would say, this person should even cover his face with shame. But I will tell you today, family members, that there are people who are listening to the sound of my voice now, and they be like, is it not his money? He should fight for it. He should fight for it. How can you pay 400 million naira? And they did not give you. They stole it. He's only going for justice. He's seeking justice. Is that not the type of situation or country we live in today? Are we also the very cause of corruption? I mean, when many times, from what you have said today, with your calls and your participation, it does seem as though corruption also is close friends with tribalism, ethnicism, tribalism, nepotism, cronyism, even a religion. It seems that way because corruption makes use of all of these tools. They are like variables to be used. But then again, let's go hear from our family member in the person of Samuel, all the way from Kuje now. Says, greetings to you, my brother Udrak Daniel. Greetings to you too. If those who are buying stolen goods are not buying, the thieves will not stop stealing. Okay, I need to take that again. I need understanding. It says, if those who are buying stolen goods are not buying, the thieves will not stop stealing. Both the givers of the bribe and receivers are guilty of the same offense. Not everyone is corrupt in this country. The problem is that the uncorrupt, or those who are not corrupt, are being silenced by the corrupt ones. All right, making laws is good, but what happens when the people who are supposed to make sure that the laws are working are the ones heading the corrupt ministry in the country? It is certain that the people in authority are not ready to fight corruption in this country. Only God will help us and deliver us from this thing called corruption, he says. Thank you, UD. You two have a fulfilled day. But we'll just very quickly go take this voice note, and when we do come back, when we are done with it, we get with our guest very quickly as it gives us thoughts, on the issue.
Good morning, the co-presenter this morning and the guests on the studio. My name is Goodluck from Gwarimpa. I think it is not a new thing in the system of Nigeria, which corruption has overtaken everywhere in every organizations, most especially in the head office. This is how people used to collect money, and some of them, they cannot even give you assurance of that 50%. They collected it before, and the job again, you cannot secure. Corruption is the big key. Everybody is corrupted in these nations. If you ask me, corruption starts from grassroots, starts from our homes. From that, I want to comment on the 400 million, which someone has wanted to pay for secure job. Yes, they do things. Some people pay billions. Some people pay such huge amount just to secure a job. I'm also one of the victims, which they told me that I should pay 800,000 to secure a job. And a job which I know that yes, in a month I cannot even get a certain amount, a good pay amount. So I decline it. Every day they are going to pay, I say to myself, I will never take money and secure a job just to get it. I will never do that. It's a promise that I made to myself. If I got it, fine. If I didn't get it, I will get to the use what I'm doing. Thank you.
Right, you heard that personal story right there. He says, there's something that he said I should ring a bell for. I should ring a bell for that one, honestly. And he says he had told himself, is a promise, that I will never be one of those who would push the frontiers of corruption in this country, Nigeria. If I get it on merit, fine. If I don't, all the same, fine as well. It means all is well that ends well. But then, could it also make you begin to think that, look, when we hear there are no jobs in the country, there are no jobs, you should be self-independent and all of that, could it mean that there are jobs, but these jobs are just held by a few corrupt persons who are using it as an enterprise? Well, let's get on with our guest now. Sir Benedict, welcome back, though.
You're welcome.
Yes, quite a number of conversations been out there. BB Blessing asking a question, is the current president, is he fighting corruption yet? Although Naja says it's a systemic and endemic issue. We've seen Samuel saying that, look, it's just one and the same, bribery and everything. In fact, I quote him, it says, if those who are buying stolen goods are not buying, the thieves will not stop stealing. And there's also, a family member who just put out his voice just right now saying that he also has been in the same process before, where he was asked to pay 800,000 naira for a job, but he refused to pay such monies. When you put your thoughts finally as a conclusion, what do you say in this matter?
Well, I think that it is high time that more Nigerians will stand up for what is right. I'm sure that when they decide to sell the contract and nobody is buying, they will definitely give the job to people who are ready to do it. But as long as there are willing buyers, as long as there are willing negotiators, it will be difficult to enforce the process. Because some of those who are involved in this act, they themselves are product of the same process. They didn't get to where they are by merit, they didn't get to where they are by hard work. They got there because of maybe some connection or some buying process themselves. And so if more people encourage them by patronage, they will continue to do what is wrong. So it is high time that Nigerians will stand up for what is right and do what is right.
Well,
if we hope to see a better nation. A nation that is devoid of both moral and financial. Here we're talking about financial, but there are also a lot of moral corruption.
That's right.
People got into the job because their parents are directors, because their parents are senators, or they are connected with ministers and the rest. All of them are one level of corruption or the other. So when you allow that to pervade the job selection process, the jobs are never going to be done. People are going to focus on privileges and powers and not on responsibility.
All right.
It is high time we wake up to be responsible, act responsibly, and think responsibly.
Appreciate
That's
this
when
one.
we can see a nation that is better.
Appreciate this one
It
from
is
you.
right.
Sir Benedict Olalekan Agunloye, you are an information professional, policy and public affairs analyst, and we cannot say it enough. I mean, the NFIUs, the ICPCs, the EFCCs is also a wake-up call. It's time to begin to do rightly. Even if you're put in the place coming from a disjoint, RNG kind of situation, who says that you cannot reset and make things right? Well, thank you to family members too, and we appreciate your thoughts on this issue today. Right. Well, this is where we call it a close. Until tomorrow, same time, same station. You are indeed the best. But don't forget, General Open Banters, 10 o'clock, and as well